Girl, where you been?
Glad you could make it. Gonna try and do a quick douche-isode. I've been liking the whole show records thing and upload the video of that to YouTube. So I'm gonna do that again this time. I'm not sure if we'll do that forever, but we're gonna do it here. Just have a few recent acquisitions, we'll say, and then a few not recent acquisitions, catalog items. One of them I'm sharing mainly because of something that was in there. There's kind of a story around it. I really, like, my eyes are bloodshot. I don't know what to say. We're gonna plow through, it's amateur hour as usual here. I am drinking, which, is a stunner. This is a tropical ale from Surly Brewing Company. I've also got meat sticks. Got shade-grown meat sticks, spicy meat sticks, gluten-free meat sticks. I've got meat sticks. So you can help yourself cupboard. Help yourself to one of these beers. This one's not my favorite. There's a few other varieties in there for you to, wet your whistle, as they say. There's also fruit. I did get some fruit. I do also very quickly want to mention, probably the highlight of my week, I came across a surplus of premium toilet paper, as well as tissues like Kleenex, and hand soap, all at the same place. It was, I don't know, what would you call it? I don't know what you'd call it. Some sort of miracle. All right. I want to get through this relatively quickly. I think a lot of these I may not be able to do as many music samples on. All right, the first thing I've got here is something I had mentioned over a year ago, because on the band's website they indicated that this was going to be reissued in the spring of 2019. It just came out last week. This is the originally released in 1993 Red Cross. The album is called Phase Shifter. This is on Third Man Records. This is kind of an old favorite of mine. Something that was in rotation in the car off and on for many years. Listening to this LP or the record for the first time. I know all the words, like before they say them. I remember when this came out, so there was two songs, Jimmy's Fantasy and Lady in the Front Row. Those were played on the radio, and I think that aside from seeing their like CDs in stores, CDs or whatever in stores, I don't think that I heard them until I heard either Jimmy's Fantasy, probably Jimmy's Fantasy, or Lady in the Front Row, which are the first two songs on the record. And then I remember having a hard time like finding a copy to buy. Anyway, this song, like Crazy World, is a cover of like a early 80s punk song. Like, if I'm thinking about this record, I did just listen to this last night, but if I was thinking about it having not just listened to it, I would think of it as like a power pop record. And it is a power pop record, but there's elements of like metal and like punk in the songs. I think this is really good. I have a lot of history with it. I always had a lot of CDs in my car, and this found its way to being played like for years. There's the insert that comes with it. I will say the pressing is decent, but I will say that this is quite expensive for not a spectacular, I don't know, for how much it is, it would have been nice if they did something special with the jacket or something. It's just it's not terrible. The original of this was only ever released in Europe, and I know Final Richie has this. I think he got it years ago and showed it in a video. But I've never seen one in person. Partially because it's, European press. I'll show the delicious black vinyl on this. What the hell? Next, this is a 2020 release, a new album from the Scottish indie pop band. This is their third LP, but it's their first in about 30 years. It's called what? Post-neo anti, you can read the rest type thing. I don't really care for this cover. Yeah. I think Hannah showed this. I don't think that she cares for the cover either. She really likes this record. I'm always leery of a band that doesn't put out a record. I think they have been back together. I think they may have released an EP or a single or multiple EPs or singles, but this is their first LP in since the 80s. I'm always leery of that. In this case, because it's kind of a crapshoot. I see it not work way more than it works. But in this case, it delivers, and it's a very good record. Certainly, if you're a fan of Close Lobsters, did I even say anything about this? Yeah. If you're a fan, you should be pleased. Comes with booklet. And this is, I had trouble, after I was able to locate one at an independent record store and order it. It took quite a while for me to get, but it also took a while to find a store that had it available to order. I guess this is limited to 100 in this color, and then there's another color limited to 100. I don't know. Okay, a bit of a minor spill. Next record is similarly to the Close Lobsters. The first album after a long drought. This is the first album in 16 years. An artist that goes by the name A Girl Called Eddie. Erin Moran is her name. This album's called Been Around. It's her second solo LP. Her first one was kind of a beloved album. I don't know if I liked this. I have it, but I don't know if I like it as much as I know a lot of people really, really like that record. This is kind of like retro singer-songwriter, soul pop, or sophisticated Baroque pop. I don't know if the arrangements don't always work for me. I think it's very good, and I think the songwriting is really good. Some of the arrangements, like I say, don't really work for me, but overall it is a good record. It's on white vinyl.
Carrying around the weight of a lifetime of dreaming, never really seen the end of the road. If losers never quit, then I'm thoroughly equipped to keep on, keeping on, keep on, keeping on.
just a few recent spins type things I'm going to show here to wind it down. This is Dick Diver. The album is called Melbourne, Florida. This is from 2015. This is a quartet out of Melbourne, Australia. Third LP, kind of an indie pop thing. Really solid record, really solid group. All four members write and sing. This album has somewhat more varied arrangements than their first two records. A lot of times, you know, they're definitely influenced by like the Go-Betweens. They're probably, you know, local heroes for them. Yeah. The insert, I don't really know what's being talked about here, but it's almost like a diatribe of, I'm sure it's like there's some inside thing that I don't know what's going on. Something about people that work for Qantas Airlines, and there may have been some incident, I don't know. Anyway, Dick Diver, Melbourne, Florida.
You were talking while I was watching people come through the door. I see this from the platform, sliding away like a draw. And I imagine you were the air, imagining what this would be like. I'm moving ever further from that point all the time. And I see you in pictures in the drying out. Felt you in my hand.
This next one, more showing for the. This is the one where I've got like some contents that are kind of interesting. So this is the debut LP from the Athens, Georgia band Elf Power. It's called Vainly Clutching at Phantom Limbs. This was released in 1995. This is a 1995 pressing. It's rough, lo-fi recording. I would say that the record is among the most poorly pressed records I've ever encountered. The album has its charm. I think this was very obscure until it was re-released in 2000. This is the silk screen, like I say, 1995 pressing. He would, as Andrew Rieger does the vast majority of everything on here. There are a few other people in spots, but it's mostly just him. There's a cover of the Dwarves song Drugstore and the Robin Hitchcock song Surgery. I think that's just a Robin Hitchcock solo song, right? Can't remember. Anyway, silkscreen cover has the insert. This is kind of, you know, an Elephant Six thing. What's interesting is that when I acquired this record, it came with a letter written, apparently handwritten by Andrew Rieger of Elf Power, the leader of Elf Power, and it's to Merge Records. So he apparently sent this record to Merge Records, like hoping for Merge Records to sign them, I believe. It says, "Hey there, I'm friends with Jeff Mangum. We played with him when he came through Athens. He suggested we send you our stuff. This is an older LP and a tape of our newer stuff, which is more of a group thing. Our live stuff is more rock, but this might give you an idea of what we sound like. give it a listen and let us know what you think, okay? So, you know, and then it has his address and his phone number. I'm gonna assume that his phone, well, I guess I won't assume anything, but it's pretty, it's kind of an artifact. It has an Elephant 6, like, fan. It's kind of a cool thing. Anyway, I'll show you the label on this really crappily pressed record. It's hard to explain, like there's no fill. You don't have to look, if you had it in your hand, you could just tell, like, this is a really crappily pressed record. What is the label? Drug Racer, right? Yeah, Drug Racer.
I'm so much Yucca.
Man, I might have to do this. I might have to scrap this whole thing and start over. This is the last one. Something I listened to from the band, the Louisville band, June of '44. How would you say that? Anahata is the name of the album. It's their 4th LP. It's also their last LP. It was released in 1999. It's on Quarter Stick Records. This is what they would call, I guess, math rock, post rock, experimental. There's like some elements of jazz in here, also some electronics. This I don't think is, well, it definitely is not their most highly regarded record. I really enjoy this. I saw them tour for this record. It's very memorable show. I think, I can't remember which member went on and was in the band HIM, H-I-M, that was basically like almost like a jazz rock fusion band. Or at least they were at the one point that I was aware of them. Anyway, June of '44, Anahata. Appreciate you dropping by, as usual. We'll try to come back again and, you know, do better. That's all we can really ask for. Just keep striving to do better. Yeah. Appreciate you hanging out. Take care. Cheers.
I really love your peaches, gonna shake your tree.